There is a $52 moisturizer sitting inside a sleek charcoal-colored tube at the Kiehl's counter right now. And there is a $16 tub sitting on the bottom shelf at your local CVS. Different stores, different packaging, different prices, and a very different story you have been told about each of them. Here is what nobody at that Kiehl's counter is ever going to tell you. The primary active ingredients in both products, glycerin, niacinamide, panthenol, vitamin E, come from the same global industrial suppliers. They are bought by the kilogram, mixed into formulas, poured into containers, and sold to you at markups that would make a hedge fund manager blush. You are not paying for better chemistry. You are paying for a logo and a lifestyle pitch. My name is Marcus, and today I am exposing how 5 of the most popular men's premium grooming brands are running the oldest play in retail on guys over 40. And then I am giving you 5 alternatives that work just as well, sometimes better for a fraction of the cost. Stay until the end. Let us get into it. Brand number 1. Kiehl's Facial Fuel. Kiehl's has been around since 1851, started as a pharmacy in New York's East Village, and that heritage story is absolutely central to how they sell you a $52 moisturizer. The Facial Fuel Energizing Moisture Treatment is their flagship men's product, and the marketing language is brilliant. Words like energize, fuel, invigorate are all over the packaging. It sounds like something a high-performance athlete would use. So what is actually inside the tube? Let's look at the ingredient list, because that is the only document in skincare that cannot lie to you. The first active ingredients are glycerin, panthenol at roughly 1.5%, vitamin C in the form of ascorbyl glucoside, and caffeine. Caffeine, the same molecule in your morning coffee, wholesale price approximately $28 per kilogram. You are getting less than 1/4 gram per bottle of that caffeine. The math on that is uncomfortable. Glycerin is one of the most commodity-produced humectants on Earth. Panthenol, also known as provitamin B5, is synthesized at industrial scale and costs manufacturers pennies per formulation. Vitamin C as ascorbyl glucoside is a stabilized ester that many formulation scientists actually consider less potent than LASCO or BIC acid because it requires enzymatic conversion inside the skin before it becomes active. And then there is the irritation risk. Independent ingredient analysis platforms rate the Kiehl's Facial Fuel formula as having a high irritation potential. That is because of the menthol, the fragrance blend, the blue dye CI42090, and the red dye CI14700 in the face wash version. Colorants in a face wash. They literally added dye to make the product look more energizing coming out of the bottle. None of that does anything for your skin. It is pure theater. Now, here is the alternative. The ordinary niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1% serum, $7 for 30 milliliters, plus CeraVe Daily Moisturizing Lotion, $14. Together you get clinically dosed niacinamide, the ceramide complex that actually rebuilds your skin barrier, hyaluronic acid, and a National Eczema Association seal of acceptance. No blue dye. No menthol theater. No $52 price tag. Your skin cannot read the Kiehl's logo on the tube. Brand number 2. Jack Black. Jack Black launched in 2000 and built its entire identity around the idea that men deserve premium grooming without the pretension of traditional luxury. Great pitch. The Double Duty Face Moisturizer with SPF 20 is their signature product, retailing at around $40 for 2 ounces. That is $20 per ounce. The marketing copy talks about blue algae extract, sea parsley, and phospholipids. Sounds extraordinary. Here is the reality check. The primary sunscreen filters in that formula are octinoxate and avobenzone, standard chemical UV filters found in drugstore sunscreens everywhere. But here is the part they do not put in the headline. The formula contains retinol palmitate, which is a form of vitamin A. Independent research has raised questions about whether retinol palmitate can accelerate photodamage when exposed to sunlight, which is the exact situation you are in when you apply a daytime moisturizer. The product would not qualify for Sephora's own clean beauty standards because of the combination of chemical UV filters and that ingredient. Meanwhile, the sea parsley and blue algae that sound so compelling. They appear deep in the ingredient list, which under FDA cosmetic labeling rules means they are present in concentrations under 1%. They are decorative ingredients with a great story, not performance drivers. The alternative here is Eltem-D UV Clear SPF 46, $39, formulated specifically for sensitive and post-procedure skin, with pure zinc oxide mineral protection, niacinamide, and an ingredient profile that dermatology clinics actually stock for post-laser recovery. In 2025, independent sensory comfort testing ranked it at the top among facial sunscreens for reducing stinging and irritation. That is what $20 less buys you when you spend it on evidence, not algae extract. Brand number 3. Lab Series. Backed by Estée Lauder, Lab Series has positioned itself as the science-inspired choice for men since 1987. The branding is all about technology, clinical-sounding language, and male-specific formulation. The price tags reflect that positioning. Their all-in-one multi-action treatment retails at around $45, and their eye cream hits $68 for just 15 milliliters, which works out to roughly $85 per ounce. For a product that contains primarily glycerin, silicones, and standard peptides at undisclosed concentrations. Here is the core problem with Lab Series. Independent reviews from formulation analysts confirm that while they do disclose some percentages for key actives like niacinamide in select products, they do not use what the skincare chemistry community calls high-tier anti-aging ingredients. That $68 eye cream contains peptides. Yes, but the concentrations are not disclosed, and peptide effectiveness is entirely dependent on concentration and penetration depth. If you are getting 2% of a peptide complex, you are not getting the same result as 5%. You just do not know, because the label does not tell you. A panel of skincare formulators reviewing the brand on record in early 2025 described Lab Series as overpriced without the formulation sophistication to justify it. The alternative is the ordinary buffet serum, $15, which contains Matrixyl 3000, the gold standard peptide complex developed by Sederma in France, at the concentration range used across the professional skincare industry. Same supplier chain. Transparent formula. A fraction of the price. The peptides in your $68 Lab Series eye cream and the peptides in a $15 bottle of Buffet do not know whose marketing budget they are supporting. Brand number 4. Brickell Men's Products. Brickell is the natural and organic men's grooming brand. They have appeared in GQ, Men's Health, Men's Journal, and their pitch is simple. Clean, high-quality ingredients crafted specifically for men. Their anti-aging cream retails at around $45 for 2 ounces. The marketing highlights aloe, DMAE, green tea, plant stem cells, and protein peptides. Here is where it gets instructive. Look at the actual ingredient list for their revitalizing anti-aging cream, and you will find that the primary base is aloe vera juice and glycerin. Both of those are commodity ingredients. The plant stem cells that sound so compelling are actually plant-derived extracts, typically from apples or edelweiss. And current dermatological science is clear that topical plant stem cell extracts cannot replicate human stem cell activity. The molecular weight is too large to penetrate the stratum corneum in meaningful amounts. This is not fringe skepticism. It is published consensus from dermatology researchers. DMAE, the dimethylaminoethanol compound Brickell highlights, does show some data around temporary skin tightening due to water retention in the dermis. Temporary, not structural. Not anti-aging in any lasting sense. Meanwhile, a $45 bottle gives you about 60 days of use. That is roughly $900 a year in moisturizer built on a premium origin story and a natural label. The alternative is Vanicream Moisturizing Skin Cream, $17, protected by U.S. Patent 598.984.2. It eliminates every common sensitizer from the formula, petrolatum and mineral oil base, 48-month shelf life stability, cited in American Academy of Dermatology guidelines. For dry, sensitized skin in men over 40, that is what the actual clinical evidence recommends. Brand number 5. T.G. Hanley. T.G. Hanley built its business on a subscription model and a pitch that really works on men who want simplicity. The promise, they send you exactly what you need, no more, no less. The AM moisturizer with SPF 20 is core to their system. Let's look at what is actually in it. The AM moisturizer's listed key ingredients. The things the brand highlights as delivering results. appear in the formula after phenoxyethanol, the preservative. Under FDA cosmetic labeling rules, that means each of those highlighted ingredients is present in concentrations below 1%. Less than 1%. The sunscreen blend uses standard chemical UV filters. But the flag that most men over 40 should know about is in their PM moisturizer. It contains diazoletenyl urea. That is a formaldehyde-releasing preservative. Formaldehyde releasers slowly release small amounts of formaldehyde over time to prevent microbial growth. The compound is still permitted in the US, but it has faced increasing regulatory scrutiny, and it is the kind of ingredient that a brand marketing itself on simplicity and what works probably should not be including in a product that goes on your face every night. On top of the formula questions, the brand has accumulated significant customer complaints around their subscription cancellation process. Multiple men's grooming forums and consumer review platforms document the difficulty of exiting the TG system once you are in it. The alternative here is Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant for cleaner skin at $30 for 8 ounces, combined with CeraVe moisturizing cream at $16 for the 19-ounce tub. In 2021, an independent peer-reviewed study tracked Paula's Choice users over 8 weeks and found a 32% reduction in visible pore size. That is published data with a sample size and a methodology. Not a marketing claim from a brand that benefits from you not knowing what 1% of an ingredient means on a label. Here is the pattern across all 5 brands. The premium men's grooming industry has built a $66 billion market on 2 ideas. For men means better, and higher price means higher performance. Neither is true at the chemistry level. The active molecules in glycerin, niacinamide, caffeine, peptides, and vitamin C come from a small number of global industrial suppliers. Those suppliers sell to Kiehl's, owned by L'Oreal. They sell to Lab Series, backed by Estée Lauder. They sell to the brand charging $6 an ounce and the brand charging $20 an ounce. The molecules are identical. What separates them is packaging, the GQ placement, the charcoal tube design, and the story of why you, specifically as a man, need this product. You do not. What you need is glycerin, a ceramide complex, a real sunscreen, and an honest label. All of that is available right now for under $40 total. The brands charging 4 times that are not giving you better chemistry. They're giving you a more expensive version of the same story. If this changed how you look at the grooming aisle, hit the like button. Subscribe to The Handsome Theory, because next week I am going after the product category with the highest markup in men's grooming. And it is something almost every guy over 40 has on his bathroom counter right now. The brand doing it will surprise you. Stay ready.